When did you realize someone hated you enough to ruin your life? The email notification pinged on my phone at 2:47 a.m., jolting me awake. Another client cancellation. That made for this month. Hi Sarah, we've decided to go in a different direction with our marketing campaign. We won't be needing your services after all. Best of luck. Jennifer Martinez, Coastal Realty Group. I stared at the screen, my stomach dropping. This was the third client in 2 weeks who backed out after our initial consultation went perfectly. Jennifer had been practically gushing about my portfolio presentation just yesterday, calling my social media strategy exactly what we've been looking for. Now, at nearly 3 a.m., she was cutting ties via a cold, corporate email. I threw off my covers and padded to my laptop, opening my freelance tracking spreadsheet. The numbers glowed accusingly in the dark. $12,000 in projected revenue, gone. My savings account was down to $847, and rent was due in 6 days. Something was wrong. This wasn't just bad luck anymore. I've been freelancing for 8 months now, ever since I got restructured out of my marketing coordinator position at Pinnacle Solutions. Before that, there was the mysterious HR investigation at my previous job that led to my resignation. And before that, the startup that suddenly questioned my work ethic after someone anonymously reported that I was difficult to work with and unprofessional in client meetings. 3 jobs in 3 years. Each time, I'd been blindsided. My phone buzzed again. A Google alert I'd set up for my professional name. My heart hammered as I clicked the link. It was a review on my business profile. 1 star. Sarah Mitchell is unreliable and produced subpar work for our company. She missed multiple deadlines and was unprofessional during meetings. Would not recommend. Posted by verified customer 47 minutes ago. Except I'd never worked with anyone matching that description. The review was completely fabricated. I scrolled through my other recent reviews, noticing a pattern I'd somehow missed before. 3 one-star reviews in the past month, all from verified accounts with generic names and no profile pictures. All describing experiences that never happened. My hands shook as I opened a new browser window and started digging deeper. The fake reviews led me down a rabbit hole I wasn't prepared for. Anonymous reports to HR departments. Professional contacts who'd mysteriously gone cold after we'd had great conversations. LinkedIn connections who'd suddenly blocked me without explanation. Someone was systematically destroying my career. I grabbed my phone and called my sister Rachel, knowing she'd be awake feeding baby Marcus. Sarah? It's 3 in the morning, what's? Someone's sabotaging me. The words tumbled out. My freelance clients, my job prospects, everything. Someone is actively trying to ruin my professional life. Silence. Then, are you sure you're not just? I'm not paranoid, Ratch. I have proof. Fake reviews, anonymous complaints, clients who love my work one day and ghost me the next. This has been going on for years. I heard her shifting around, probably trying not to wake the baby. Who would do something like that? That was the million-dollar question. Who had access to my professional network? Who knew enough about my work history to make convincing complaints? Who had both the technical skills and the sustained motivation to execute a 3-year campaign of professional sabotage? I don't know yet, I whispered, but even as I said it, a terrible suspicion was already forming in the back of my mind. There was only one person who fit all the criteria. The name hit me like a punch to the gut, Emma Chen. My former best friend. My college roommate for 3 years. The maid of honor who was supposed to stand beside me at my wedding before Jake and I called off the engagement. Emma, who knew every detail of my professional aspirations, my LinkedIn connections, my client management style. Emma, who had applied for the same Ogilvy internship that launched my entire career. I hadn't spoken to her in over a year, not since our friendship imploded during that disastrous dinner at Marcello's where she'd accused me of always getting everything handed to me and stormed out, leaving me with a $180 check and a table full of staring diners. But she'd been there for everything else. Every job interview I'd stressed about. Every client meeting I'd celebrated. Every professional contact I'd made through networking events we'd attended together back when we were still friends. My laptop screen blurred as tears of rage filled my eyes. I pulled up Emma's LinkedIn profile, my cursor hovering over her smiling headshot. Senior Marketing Manager at Brandright Creative. 43 mutual connections. Access to the same professional circles I'd been trying to build my reputation in. The timeline made sickening sense. My first career setback had happened just 2 months after that dinner fight. The anonymous complaint at Meridian Corp that questioned my collaborative spirit and led to my being managed out. Then the startup disaster at TechFlow Solutions, where someone had reported me for taking credit for other people's work, an accusation so specific it had to come from someone who knew about my presentation style. I opened a new document and started typing, forcing myself to organize the evidence chronologically. January 2021, anonymous HR complaint at Meridian Corp. June 2021, reliability concerns raised by unknown source at TechFlow. November 2021, first fake negative review appears online. March 2022, Pinnacle Solutions receives anonymous email about my unprofessional conduct. October 2022, Coastal Realty Group cancels contract after concerning feedback from unnamed source. 3 years of systematic destruction. 3 years of Emma watching me struggle and fail, probably savoring every rejection email, every canceled contract, every night I called Rachel crying about my career falling apart. My phone rang, making me jump. Rachel's name flashed on the screen. I've been thinking about what you said, she whispered. Remember Emma's reaction when you got that internship? She didn't speak to you for 2 weeks. That was 6 years ago, Ratch. I thought she'd gotten over it. Some people don't get over things, Sarah. Some people let them fester. Rachel paused. Didn't she work in digital marketing? She'd know how to create fake accounts, manipulate online reviews. My stomach clenched. Emma had actually helped me set up my business profiles when I first started freelancing. She knew all my passwords, had access to my client management system, understood exactly how to target my professional reputation in the most damaging way possible. I need proof, I said, my voice steadier now. Real evidence, not just suspicions. Then get it. But Sarah? Rachel's voice turned serious. If Emma really has been doing this for 3 years, she's not going to stop on her own. This is obsessive behavior. You need to be careful. I hung up and stared at Emma's LinkedIn photo. Her smile looked different now, calculating, predatory. How had I missed the hatred lurking behind those eyes? My phone buzzed with another Google alert. Another 1-star review, posted just 20 minutes ago. This time, the fake customer complained about my dishonest business practices and failure to deliver promised results. Emma was still awake, still working to destroy me. But now I knew who my enemy was. And I was going to prove it. I spent the next 6 hours methodically documenting everything. Every suspicious client cancellation, every anonymous complaint, every fake review that had appeared on my profiles. By 9 a.m., I had a timeline that painted a horrifying picture of sustained psychological warfare. But I needed more than circumstantial evidence. I needed a smoking gun. I called my college friend Marcus Webb, who worked in cybersecurity for a tech firm downtown. We'd stayed in casual touch since graduation, occasionally liking each other's LinkedIn posts and exchanging holiday cards. Sarah. Long time no talk. What's up? Marcus, I need a huge favor. Someone's been creating fake accounts to sabotage my business, and I need to trace the IP addresses. Can you help me? His tone shifted to professional interest. That's seriously messed up. Yeah, I can probably help. Send me the links to the fake reviews and any suspicious accounts you found. While I compiled everything for Marcus, my phone rang. The caller ID made my blood freeze, Emma Chen. I stared at the screen for 3 rings before answering, my hand trembling slightly. Sarah? Emma's voice was sickeningly sweet, the same tone she used to use when she wanted to borrow my car or talk me into covering her share of utilities. I heard through the grapevine that you've been having some business troubles. I just wanted to reach out and see if you're okay. The audacity nearly knocked me breathless. She was calling to gloat. I'm fine, Emma. Just some temporary setbacks. I kept my voice carefully neutral, though my heart was pounding so hard I was sure she could hear it through the phone. Oh, that's such a relief. You know, the marketing world can be so competitive. Sometimes clients get spooked by the tiniest rumors or complaints. It's really unfair how one disgruntled person can torpedo someone's entire reputation. Her words were like ice water in my veins. She wasn't just confirming my suspicions, she was practically confessing. I managed, frantically opening my voice recorder app. It is strange how these things spread. Exactly. And with social media and review sites, it's so easy for anyone to create accounts and say whatever they want about a business. There's really no accountability. Emma's laugh was light, casual. Anyway, I was thinking maybe we could grab coffee sometime. Catch up properly. I know things ended badly between us, but life's too short to hold grudges, right? The sheer nerve of it made me dizzy. She was destroying my livelihood while simultaneously playing the concerned friend trying to reconcile. That sounds nice, I lied. Let me check my calendar and get back to you. Perfect. Oh, and Sarah? If you ever need any professional references or recommendations, you know I'd be happy to vouch for you. We go way back, after all. The call ended, and I immediately saved the recording. Emma had just offered to provide references while actively sabotaging my career. The psychological manipulation was breathtaking in its cruelty. My email chimed with a response from Marcus. Holy shit, Sarah. I ran a preliminary check on those review accounts. 3 of them were created from the same IP address, and that address is registered to a Brand Right Creative office building. Want me to dig deeper? Brand Right Creative. Emma's company. I was typing my response when another email arrived, this one from a potential client I pitched last week. Hi Sarah, we've received some concerning information about your work history and professionalism. We'll be moving forward with a different contractor. Please don't contact us again. My phone immediately rang, Emma calling back. Sarah, I forgot to mention, her voice dripped with fake concern. I just heard from someone at Silverstone Marketing that they had some issues with a freelancer matching your description. You might want to look into that. Wouldn't want any misunderstandings to hurt your reputation further. She hung up before I could respond. Emma wasn't just sabotaging me, she was escalating. I stared at my phone in stunned silence. Emma had just called back to twist the knife deeper, and the casual cruelty in her voice made my skin crawl. She wasn't just destroying my career, she was enjoying it. My hands were shaking as I forwarded the recording to my email and called Marcus back. I need that deeper dive, I said without preamble. And Marcus? This person just called me twice. They're not trying to hide anymore. Jesus, Sarah. Yeah, I'm already on it. Give me 2 hours. While I waited, I decided to do some reconnaissance of my own. I created a fake Gmail account and carefully crafted a professional inquiry to Brand Right Creative, specifically requesting Emma's team for a fictional rebranding project. If she was monitoring my real accounts and sabotaging my clients, maybe I could catch her in the act. Within 30 minutes, I had a response from Emma herself. We'd love to discuss your marketing needs. I have extensive experience helping businesses recover from reputation challenges and previous marketing mistakes. When can we schedule a consultation? The implication was crystal clear. She was positioning herself as the solution to problems she was creating. My doorbell rang at 11:47 a.m. Through the peephole, I saw a delivery driver holding an enormous bouquet of white lilies. The card read, thinking of you during this difficult time. Hope things turn around soon. Zoxo, Emma. Funeral flowers. She'd sent me funeral flowers for my dying career. I photographed everything, the flowers, the card, the timestamp on the delivery receipt. The psychological warfare was escalating, but she was also getting sloppy. Each move was creating more evidence. My laptop chimed with a message from Marcus. You need to see this. Can you video call? His face appeared on my screen, expression grim. Behind him, I could see multiple monitors displaying network analysis tools and IP tracking software. Sarah, this is way worse than I thought. I traced 17 fake accounts back to the same IP address cluster. But here's the really disturbing part. Whoever's doing this has been tracking your online activity. They're monitoring your email opens, website visits, even your social media engagement patterns. My blood ran cold. What does that mean? It means they've installed tracking pixels or malware on your devices. They know exactly when you check emails, which clients you're pursuing, probably even when you're online. Marcus leaned closer to his camera. This isn't just sabotage, it's stalking. Digital stalking with sophisticated tools. How sophisticated? Professional grade. This person either has serious technical skills or they're paying someone who does. The fake review accounts were created using VPN masking, but they made one crucial mistake: they all used the same browser fingerprint. Same computer, same user. I thought about Emma helping me set up my business accounts 8 months ago. She'd insisted on optimizing my email templates and installing what she called analytics tools to help track my marketing performance. Marcus, if someone had physical access to my laptop, could they install this kind of monitoring software? Absolutely. Takes about 5 minutes if you know what you're doing. His expression darkened. Sarah, who are you suspecting here? Before I could answer, my phone erupted with notifications. 5 new 1-star reviews had appeared simultaneously across different platforms. Google, Yelp, Facebook, LinkedIn, and a freelance marketplace I hadn't used in months. All posted within the same 3-minute window. All describing the same fictional project involving missed deadlines and unprofessional behavior. All using slightly different versions of the same phrases Emma had used during our phone conversation an hour earlier. She's watching me right now, I whispered to Marcus. She knows I'm investigating, and she's trying to bury me completely. Who, Sarah? Who's doing this? Emma Chen. My former best friend. She's a senior marketing manager with technical skills and access to my entire professional network. I took a shaky breath. And I think she's been planning this for years. Marcus went quiet, typing rapidly. I'm going to trace these new reviews in real time. If she's posting them now, while we're talking, I might be able to catch her IP address before she covers her tracks. As I watched him work, another email arrived from the fictional client inquiry I'd sent to Brandright Creative. Emma was proposing a meeting for tomorrow at 2 p.m. She wanted to meet in person. The predator was ready to face her prey directly. I stared at Emma's meeting proposal, my cursor hovering over the reply button. Meeting her face-to-face felt like walking into a trap, but it might also be my best chance to get her to incriminate herself further. Marcus, can you trace location data from IP addresses? I asked, still on the video call. Sometimes, yeah. Why? I'm thinking about wearing a wire to a meeting. His eyebrows shot up. Sarah, if this person is as unhinged as you're describing, that could be really dangerous. Maybe you should just take what we have to the police. I'd considered that, but what did I really have? Circumstantial evidence and some IP traces that a good lawyer could probably explain away. Emma was smart enough to have covered most of her tracks. I needed her to confess, and she was too careful to do that over a recorded phone call. But in person? Confronted with evidence? Emma's temper had always been her weakness. My phone rang again. This time it was Rachel. Sarah, thank God you're answering. I just got the weirdest call. Her voice was tight with anxiety. Some woman claiming to be a former client of yours called my work number. Said she was conducting due diligence because you'd applied for a position that requires character references. My stomach plummeted. What did you tell her? Nothing. I hung up as soon as she started asking about your reliability issues and professional conduct. Sarah, how did she even get my work number? That's not listed anywhere public. Emma had my emergency contact sheet from when we were roommates. She'd kept it all these years, and now she was going after my family. I think she also called Mom, Rachel continued. Mom mentioned getting a strange call yesterday about someone doing a background check, but she didn't think much of it at the time. My hands clenched into fists. Going after my reputation was one thing, but dragging my family into this psychological warfare crossed a line I hadn't even known existed. I'm going to end this, I told Marcus once Rachel hung up. Accept the meeting. Tomorrow at 2 p.m. Sarah. She's escalating because she knows I'm onto her. The fake reviews, the funeral flowers, now harassing my family. She's not going to stop until she's completely destroyed me. I pulled up the reply window. But Emma's always been arrogant. She thinks she's untouchable because we used to be friends. She thinks she knows how I'll react. Marcus was quiet for a long moment. What do you need from me? Everything you can give me. IP logs, account creation timestamps, browser fingerprints. I want enough evidence to bury her if this goes sideways. I'll have a complete digital forensics report ready by tomorrow morning. But Sarah? His expression was deadly serious. If you're really going to do this, don't go alone. And make sure someone knows exactly where you are. After we hung up, I spent the next hour crafting my response to Emma's meeting request. I accepted her 2 p.m. slot but suggested we meet at Café Luna instead of her office, neutral territory with plenty of witnesses and security cameras. Her response came back within minutes, perfect. I have so many ideas for helping you rebuild your reputation. Can't wait to catch up properly. The false enthusiasm made my skin crawl, but beneath it, I detected something else. Excitement. Emma was looking forward to this confrontation as much as I was, probably expecting to watch me break down as she revealed the full scope of her sabotage. She had no idea I'd already figured it out. My laptop chimed with yet another client cancellation email, Hartwell and Associates, a law firm I'd been courting for weeks. The timing was too perfect to be coincidental. Emma was systematically destroying every lead in my pipeline before tomorrow's meeting. She wanted me desperate, broken, and completely dependent on whatever poisoned olive branch she planned to extend. But I had 22 hours to turn the tables. And this time, I'd be ready for her. I barely slept that night, alternating between rage and nausea as I compiled my evidence folder. By 6 a.m., I had screenshots of 17 fake reviews, email timestamps showing suspicious client cancellations, and a detailed timeline spanning 3 years of career sabotage. Marcus's forensics report arrived at 7:23 a.m., and it was damning. 14 fake accounts traced to Brandright Creative's IP range. Browser fingerprints matching across multiple platforms. Even metadata showing that several malicious reviews had been posted during Emma's work hours. But the most chilling discovery was buried on page 12. Target device shows signs of remote monitoring software installed approximately 8 months ago. Software allows real-time access to email, browser history, and document folders. 8 months ago. Exactly when Emma had helped me set up my freelance business systems. She'd been watching everything. Every client pitch, every networking contact, every financial struggle. She knew exactly when to strike for maximum damage. My phone buzzed with a text from Rachel. Mom got another reference check call this morning. Whoever it is knows about your college GPA and that internship controversy with Professor Williams. This is someone who really knows you. The Professor Williams incident. I'd never told anyone except Emma about that mess, how he'd initially given my final project to another student by mistake, causing a week of panic before the grade mix-up was resolved. Only Emma knew those specific details, because she'd held my hair while I stress vomited in our dorm bathroom. Now she was weaponizing my most vulnerable moments. I called Detective Morrison at the LAPD non-emergency line, hoping to establish a paper trail before the meeting. But his response was frustratingly predictable. Without direct threats or physical harm, this falls into civil territory. You'll need to consult a lawyer about defamation claims. A lawyer I couldn't afford with my decimated income. At 11:47 a.m., I drove to Best Buy and purchased a small digital recorder, the kind that could clip inside a jacket pocket. The elderly clerk, Harold according to his name tag, showed me how to activate voice-triggered recording mode. Going to some important meetings? He asked cheerfully. Something like that. I tested the device, speaking quietly. The playback quality was crystal clear. Word of advice from someone who's been married 43 years, Harold said, lowering his voice conspiratorially. Sometimes the most dangerous people are the ones who smile the biggest. You be careful out there. By 1:30 p.m., I was seated at Cafe Luna with a clear view of the entrance, recorder activated and hidden in my blazer pocket. I'd chosen a corner table near the busy espresso machine, enough ambient noise to seem natural, but not enough to muffle conversation. Emma arrived at exactly 2 p.m., looking polished in a charcoal business suit I recognized from her recent LinkedIn photos. She approached with arms outstretched, as if greeting a long-lost sister. Sarah. You look. She paused, taking in my probably obvious exhaustion and stress. Well, you've certainly been through a lot lately. Have I? I remained seated, not returning her embrace. Her smile flickered for just a moment before reasserting itself. The business troubles you mentioned. I've been doing some research to see how I might help. Research? Emma slid into the opposite chair, pulling out her phone with theatrical efficiency. I found some concerning reviews about your services. And honestly, Sarah, some of the complaints seem quite serious. Missed deadlines, unprofessional conduct, billing disputes. She began reading directly from the fake reviews she'd created, her voice dripping with manufactured concern. Now, I'm sure there are two sides to every story, she continued, but potential clients don't always dig deeper. First impressions matter so much in our industry. I watched her performance with growing fascination. She was genuinely enjoying this, the psychological manipulation, the fake sympathy, the opportunity to twist the knife while pretending to offer help. Emma, I said quietly, do you really think I'm that stupid? Her smile froze completely. I'm sorry? Emma's voice went up half an octave, but her eyes had gone completely cold. I don't know what you mean. I leaned forward, keeping my voice conversational but letting steel creep into my tone. The IP addresses, Emma. Brandright Creatives Network. 17 fake accounts, all created from your office building. For a split second, her mask slipped entirely. I saw rage flash across her features, pure, undiluted hatred that made my blood freeze. Then she recovered, forcing out a laugh that sounded like breaking glass. That's quite an accusation, Sarah. I hope you have evidence to back up something so serious. Actually, I do. I pulled out a printed copy of Marcus's report, sliding it across the table. Browser fingerprints. Metadata timestamps. Even the monitoring software you installed on my laptop 8 months ago. Emma's eyes scanned the technical jargon, and I watched her mentally calculating her options. Her perfectly manicured fingers drummed once against the table, a tell I remembered from college poker nights. This is fascinating, she said finally, her voice eerily calm. But you know what's really interesting, Sarah? How you immediately assumed I was responsible. Out of all the people in your professional network, you jumped straight to me. Her smile turned predatory. What does that say about your judgment? Your paranoia levels? The deflection was masterful, but I'd expected it. You called me yesterday, I continued steadily. 30 minutes before my latest client cancellation. You practically confessed over the phone. I called to offer support to an old friend who was clearly struggling. Emma's tone shifted to wounded innocence. And now you're sitting here accusing me of some elaborate conspiracy? This is exactly the kind of erratic behavior that might explain your professional troubles. She was trying to gaslight me, make me question my own sanity. But I'd lived with Emma Chen for 3 years, I knew every manipulation tactic in her arsenal. Tell me about the Ogilvy internship, I said quietly. The question hit like a physical blow. Emma went perfectly still, her coffee cup suspended halfway to her lips. What about it? You never got over it, did you? 6 years later, and you're still punishing me for something that wasn't even my fault. That internship should have been mine. The words came out low and vicious, all pretense finally dropping. My GPA was higher. My portfolio was stronger. But they chose you because you were prettier, more charming, better at playing their little networking games. Emma, do you know what it's like to watch someone get everything handed to them while you work twice as hard for half the recognition? Her voice was rising now, drawing stares from nearby tables. To smile and congratulate your best friend while she stumbles backward into opportunities you'd kill for? The recorder in my pocket was capturing every word, but I felt no triumph. Only horror at the depth of resentment Emma had been hiding. So you decided to destroy me, I said. Systematically. For 3 years. Emma laughed, high and sharp. Destroy you? Sarah, I barely had to lift a finger. You destroyed yourself with your mediocre work and unprofessional attitude. I just helped people see the truth a little faster. By creating fake accounts. Harassing my family. Installing spyware. By leveling the playing field. Emma leaned forward, her eyes glittering with malice. You want to know the best part? Every single complaint I filed was believable because deep down, everyone knew you didn't deserve your success. I just gave them permission to admit it. My phone buzzed with another notification. Without breaking eye contact with Emma, I glanced down. Another 1-star review. Posted 2 minutes ago. While she was sitting right here, talking to me. Still working? I asked, showing her the screen. Emma's smile was absolutely chilling. I told you, Sarah. I barely have to lift a finger anymore. Emma's admission that she barely had to lift a finger anymore sent ice through my veins. The implication was terrifying. She'd automated my destruction. What does that mean? I kept my voice steady, but my heart was hammering. Oh, Sarah. Emma tilted her head, studying me like a specimen. You still don't understand how deep this goes, do you? It's not just me anymore. I built a whole network of people who know exactly what kind of person you really are. She pulled out her phone with deliberate slowness, scrolling through what looked like a group chat. Melissa from the Downtown Marketing Alliance, Jake's cousin Rebecca who works at Hartwell and Associates, even that barista from the networking events at Grind Coffee. Emma's smile widened. Amazing how willing people are to share concerns about someone once you plant the right seeds. My mind raced through the connections. Melissa had stopped returning my calls 3 months ago. Rebecca had seemed genuinely interested in hiring me for the law firm's rebrand until she suddenly went silent last week. And the barista, Connor, had always been friendly until recently, when he'd started giving me cold shoulders at networking events. You turned them against me, I whispered. I simply shared my experiences as your former roommate. How you used to take credit for group projects. How you'd throw tantrums when things didn't go your way. How you cheated on that environmental science exam junior year. Emma's voice was conversational, almost bored. People love gossip, Sarah. Especially when it confirms what they already suspected. The cheating accusation was a complete lie, but I remembered Emma spreading rumors about other girls in our dorm using the same tactics. I thought she was just being catty. I never imagined she'd weaponize those skills against me. That's why the reviews keep coming, she continued. I don't even have to write them anymore. Marcus from TechFlow Solutions posted one just yesterday. Apparently, he ran into Melissa at a conference, and she mentioned how disappointed she was in your work quality. My stomach dropped. Marcus Chen, no relation to Emma, just an unfortunate coincidence, had been a perfectly cordial boss during my brief stint at TechFlow. But if Melissa had gotten to him with her poisoned version of events. You've been playing a longer game, I said, pieces clicking into place. 3.5 years, to be precise. Started the week after you got that Ogilvy internship. Emma's fingers drummed that familiar rhythm again. Do you remember what you said to me that night? When I congratulated you? I searched my memory, coming up blank. I don't. I guess everything really does happen for a reason. That's what you said. Like the universe had specifically chosen to reward you while I got nothing. Her voice had gone deadly quiet. That's when I decided to show you what everything happens for a reason actually looks like. She leaned back in her chair, looking satisfied. The beautiful part is, you've been helping me the entire time. Every time you complained about a bad client experience or a difficult boss, I'd reach out to them later with my concerns. Every time you mentioned a new networking contact, I'd connect with them on LinkedIn and gradually plant doubts. My phone buzzed again. This time it was a LinkedIn notification. Someone had endorsed Emma for professional ethics and team collaboration. Even now, Emma said, glancing at my phone, people are seeing what a reliable, trustworthy professional looks like. It's really quite beautiful how contrast works, isn't it? She stood up, smoothing down her suit jacket. I should go. I have a consultation call with Silverstone Marketing in 20 minutes. Apparently, they're looking for someone to handle a rebranding project after their last contractor proved unreliable. Silverstone Marketing. The client who'd emailed me yesterday about concerning information regarding my work history. Emma had stolen my potential client and was now meeting with them as my replacement. The sheer calculated cruelty of it left me speechless. This wasn't just sabotage, it was professional cannibalism. She was literally feeding off the career she'd destroyed. Emma, wait. I stood too, desperation creeping into my voice. We can fix this. We can. Fix this? She laughed, the sound sharp enough to cut glass. Sarah, this isn't broken. This is justice. This is you finally getting exactly what you deserve. She walked toward the exit, then paused, turning back with one final twist of the knife. Oh, and Sarah? You might want to check your business insurance policy. I heard someone filed a complaint with the state licensing board about unlicensed marketing practices. Wouldn't want any legal troubles on top of everything else. The cafe door chimed as she left, and I collapsed back into my chair, my hands shaking uncontrollably. She'd filed a complaint with the licensing board. My business license could be suspended while they investigated, effectively killing any remaining client relationships. Emma hadn't just destroyed my career, she'd made sure I couldn't rebuild it. I sat frozen in that cafe chair for what felt like hours, watching Emma's words replay in my mind. The licensing board complaint was the final nail in my professional coffin. Even if I proved she was lying, the investigation process alone would take months and destroy any remaining credibility. My phone rang, startling me back to reality. Marcus Webb's name flashed on the screen. Sarah, thank God. I've been trying to call you for the past hour. We have a problem. Another one? I laughed bitterly. Emma just told me she filed a complaint with the state licensing board. That's not the worst part. Marcus's voice was grim. I've been monitoring the IP addresses from this morning, and there's been a massive spike in activity. Someone just created 12 new fake accounts across 6 different platforms. But here's the thing, they're not all coming from Brandright Creative anymore. My blood chilled. What do you mean? The accounts are being created from multiple locations. Different IP addresses, different devices. It's like someone activated a whole network of people simultaneously. He paused. Sarah, I think Emma has other people doing her dirty work now. Real people, not just fake accounts. I thought about her revelation at the cafe, Melissa, Rebecca, Connor the barista, even Marcus from TechFlow. She'd been recruiting allies for years, turning my professional network into a weapon against me. How many people are we talking about? I asked weakly. based on the activity patterns? At least 8 to 10 active participants. Maybe more. Marcus's typing was audible through the phone. And they're coordinated. All the new reviews posted within a 15-minute window, all using slightly different language but hitting the same talking points. My email notification chimed. Then another. Then 5 more in rapid succession. They're happening now, aren't they? I whispered. I opened my laptop with trembling fingers. My business email inbox was exploding with notifications. Contract cancellations. Review alerts. A formal inquiry from the Better Business Bureau about multiple complaints filed against my services. But the email that made me physically nauseous came from my former boss at Pinnacle Solutions. Sarah, I've been contacted by several professionals in our industry expressing concerns about your business practices. I'm obligated to inform you that Pinnacle will no longer serve as a professional reference. Please remove our company from your portfolio materials. Marcus, they're burning every bridge I have left, I said into the phone, scrolling through 17 new emails of professional assassination. People I haven't talked to in months are suddenly cutting ties. This is organized psychological warfare, Marcus replied. Sarah, you need to get a lawyer involved. Like, today. With what money? My business account has $200 left. I stared at an email from my business insurance provider. They were opening an investigation based on credible reports of professional misconduct. My phone buzzed with a text from an unknown number. Saw the reviews about your work. Thought you should know people are talking at the marketing meetups. Maybe time to find a new career? A friend. Then another. Emma Chen warned us about you at the networking mixer last week. Thanks for the heads up. Dodged a bullet there. And another. My company was considering hiring you, but after hearing about your reputation issues, yikes. Good luck. Anonymous cruelty from faceless numbers. Emma had turned my entire professional community into a mob. Marcus, can you trace text messages? Harder than IP addresses, but sometimes. Why? Because Emma just unleashed a coordinated attack. Phone calls, emails, texts, she's got people coming at me from every angle. I screenshot the messages with shaking hands. She's not just destroying my current business anymore. She's making sure I can never work in marketing again. Jesus Christ, Sarah. This is criminal harassment. You need to call the police. But even as he said it, I knew the truth. Emma was too smart to leave direct fingerprints on any of this. She'd convinced others to do her dirty work, created plausible deniability, made it look like organic community concern rather than orchestrated sabotage. She'd built the perfect weapon, a reputation assassination machine powered by social proof and mob mentality. And it was just getting started. My laptop screen blurred as another wave of notifications flooded in. 23 new cancellations in the past hour. The coordinated attack was accelerating beyond anything I could have imagined. Then my phone rang with a number I recognized, my landlord, Patricia Vance. Sarah, honey, I just got the strangest call. Patricia's elderly voice wavered with concern. Someone claiming to be from a credit reporting agency asked about your rental history and payment reliability. They said you'd listed me as a reference for some business loan? My stomach dropped to the floor. Emma wasn't just targeting my professional life anymore, she was going after my housing stability. Patricia, I never applied for any loan. Someone's impersonating me. Well, that's what I figured, but they knew an awful lot of details. Your lease dates, that time you paid rent 3 days late when your car broke down, even about poor Mr. Whiskers from 3B who used to scratch at your door. Patricia paused. Honey, they asked if I thought you were financially responsible and mentally stable enough to handle business obligations. Emma had lived in my apartment for 2 weeks last year when her place was being fumigated. She'd met Patricia, heard the stories, petted Mr. Whiskers. Now she was weaponizing those intimate details to convince my landlord I was unstable. Did you tell them anything? I asked, though I already knew the answer from Patricia's guilty silence. I'm sorry, dear. They sounded so official, and they said it was just routine verification. I mentioned that you've seemed stressed lately, and that you've been working odd hours, taking a lot of phone calls that seem to upset you. Perfect. Emma now had my own landlord on record expressing concerns about my mental state and behavior. In 2 more months when my lease was up for renewal, Patricia would probably refuse to extend it. My email chimed with a message from Dr. Jennifer Walsh, my former therapist from 3 years ago when I'd gone through my breakup with Jake. Sarah, I received a concerning call today from someone claiming to be conducting a wellness check. I cannot and did not provide any information, but I wanted you to know that someone is asking questions about your mental health history. Please call me if you need support. The violation felt like a physical assault. Emma was digging into my therapy records, trying to paint me as mentally unstable. She'd probably reached out to Dr. Walsh claiming to be a worried family member or employer. Marcus called back, his voice tight with urgency. Sarah, you need to get off all your devices right now. I just detected a massive data breach attempt on your business accounts. Someone's trying to access your client database, financial records, even your personal Google Drive. From Brandright Creatives IP? No, that's what's terrifying me. This is coming from a completely different location. Professional-grade hacking tools, military encryption software. This isn't some marketing manager with a grudge anymore. Emma's hired actual cybercriminals. My hands were shaking so violently I could barely hold the phone. What are they looking for? Everything. Tax documents, client contracts, personal photos, private messages. If they get in, they could steal your identity, access your banking information, or plant evidence of financial fraud. Marcus's typing was frantic. I'm trying to block them, but Sarah, you need to change every password you have and freeze your credit immediately. While I frantically logged into my banking app to lock down my accounts, another text arrived from Rachel. Sarah, call me now. Someone just showed up at Mom's house claiming to be a process server with legal documents for you. Mom's scared and confused. What the hell is going on? Emma had escalated to physically intimidating my elderly mother. The fake process server was probably trying to deliver fabricated legal papers, maybe a cease and desist letter or fake lawsuit documents designed to terrify my family into cutting contact with me. It was psychological terrorism disguised as legal procedure. My phone rang again. Detective Morrison from LAPD. Ms. Mitchell, I've had 4 separate calls today about you. Someone filed a police report claiming you'd been harassing local business owners and making threatening phone calls to former colleagues. His tone was professional but strained. Now, I don't necessarily believe these reports, but I need you to come in for questioning. Today, Emma had called the police on me. She'd flipped the script entirely, painting herself as the victim of my harassment while simultaneously destroying my life from every possible angle. The meeting at Cafe Luna hadn't been a confrontation, it had been a trap. She'd probably recorded our conversation and edited it to make me sound unhinged and threatening. Detective Morrison, I have evidence that I'm being systematically harassed by. Ma'am, we'll discuss all of that when you come in. Can you be here by 4 p.m.? I was going to be questioned by police as a suspected stalker while the real predator celebrated her masterpiece of manipulation. Emma Chen had won. I sat in the LAPD parking lot for 20 minutes, trying to compose myself before facing Detective Morrison. My hands were still shaking from the adrenaline crash, and I kept replaying Emma's words, I barely have to lift a finger anymore. She'd built a machine designed to destroy me, and now she was watching it work from a safe distance while positioning herself as the victim. At 3:47 p.m., I walked into the station with a folder containing every piece of evidence Marcus and I had compiled. Detective Morrison looked exactly like his voice suggested, tired, overworked, and skeptical of everyone who walked through his door. Ms. Mitchell, I've received some concerning reports about your recent behavior, he began, pulling out a notepad. Multiple individuals have contacted us about harassment, threatening phone calls, and what appears to be an escalating pattern of professional sabotage against former colleagues. The accusation hit like a physical blow. Emma had completely inverted reality, making me the aggressor in my own victimization. Detective, I'm the one being harassed. I have digital evidence proving. Ma'am, let me finish. Morrison held up a hand. Emma Chen contacted us this morning. She provided recordings of what she described as increasingly erratic and threatening behavior from you, including a confrontation at a coffee shop where you accused her of elaborate conspiracies. My blood ran cold. Emma had recorded our meeting at Cafe Luna, just as I had. But her version would be carefully edited to remove her confessions and highlight my accusations, making me sound paranoid and unhinged. She also provided testimony from 6 other individuals who've had concerning interactions with you over the past month. Accusations of professional sabotage, demands for meetings, aggressive phone calls about fake reviews. Morrison's pen tapped against his notepad. Ms. Chen seemed genuinely frightened, Ms. Mitchell. The beautiful simplicity of Emma's final gambit was breathtaking. She'd convinced her network of allies to report my investigation as harassment, flipping every piece of evidence into proof of my instability. My attempts to uncover the truth had become evidence of my guilt. Detective Morrison, may I play you a recording from today's meeting? His eyebrows rose. You recorded Ms. Chen without her consent? Another trap. In California, recording someone without permission could be illegal depending on the circumstances. Emma had maneuvered me into potentially incriminating myself just by trying to gather evidence. I have digital forensics proving that 17 fake accounts were created from her company's IP address, I said instead, sliding Marcus's report across the desk. Morrison glanced at the technical document with obvious confusion. Ms. Mitchell, this looks like a lot of computer jargon. Do you have any witnesses to these alleged crimes? Anyone who can corroborate your version of events? My friend Marcus Webb compiled this evidence. He's a cybersecurity expert who. So no independent witnesses. Just your friend's analysis of internet data. Morrison leaned back in his chair. Here's what I see, multiple people reporting similar concerning behaviors from you, while you're claiming an elaborate conspiracy involving fake accounts and professional sabotage. He was right, and Emma had known he would be. Digital evidence was complicated, technical, and easily dismissed. Personal testimony from frightened victims was simple, emotional, and convincing. Ms. Mitchell, I'm going to be straight with you. Based on these reports, we could potentially file charges for harassment and cyberstalking. But Ms. Chen has specifically requested that we handle this as a civil matter, provided you cease all contact with her and the other complainants. A restraining order. Emma wanted legal documentation preventing me from investigating further, communicating with potential witnesses, or defending myself publicly. It would be the final nail in both my professional coffin and any chance of proving my innocence. What if I refuse? I asked weakly. Then we'll have to pursue criminal charges. Morrison's expression wasn't unsympathetic, but it was final. Ms. Mitchell, whatever's really happening here, continuing down this path isn't going to end well for you. Emma had cornered me perfectly. Accept defeat and legal silence, or fight back and face arrest for the very crimes she'd committed against me. I had until tomorrow morning to decide. I walked out of the police station in a daze, Detective Morrison's ultimatum echoing in my head. 24 hours to choose between legal silence or criminal charges for crimes I didn't commit. My phone buzzed with yet another notification as I reached my car. This time it was a Google alert for my name, but the result made my knees buckle. Someone had created a fake Wikipedia page about me. Sarah Michelle Mitchell, born 1995, is a former marketing coordinator who gained notoriety in 2023 for a harassment campaign against Los Angeles area business professionals. Mitchell was investigated by the LAPD for cyberstalking and professional sabotage after targeting former colleague Emma Chen and multiple industry contacts with false accusations and threatening behavior. The page looked completely legitimate, complete with fabricated citations from Los Angeles Business Journal and Marketing Week articles that didn't exist. There was even a photo, my LinkedIn headshot, but with the lighting adjusted to make me look haggard and unstable. Emma hadn't just destroyed my present, she was rewriting my history. I called Marcus with shaking fingers. They created a fake Wikipedia page. It's the first result when anyone searches my name now. Jesus Christ. I can get that taken down, but it'll take 48 to 72 hours minimum. His voice was strained. Sarah, there's something else. I've been monitoring the accounts that attacked you today, and I found something disturbing. More disturbing than fake legal documents and Wikipedia fraud? The coordination is too perfect. The timing, the messaging, the technical sophistication, this isn't just Emma and a few bitter colleagues. Someone's paying for professional reputation management services. My stomach dropped. What does that mean? It means Emma hired a company that specializes in reputation destruction. The same kind of firms that destroy whistleblowers and political opponents. We're talking about a multi-thousand-dollar operation, Sarah. The scope of Emma's investment in my destruction was staggering. This wasn't petty revenge, it was systematic character assassination executed with corporate precision. How much would something like this cost? I asked, though I dreaded the answer. Conservative estimate? $15,000 to $20,000. Maybe more. Marcus paused. Sarah, Emma's been planning this for years and spending serious money to make it happen. This is beyond obsession, this is pathological. My phone rang before I could respond. Unknown number, but I recognized the area code, it was local. Sarah Mitchell? The voice was crisp, professional, unfamiliar. Yes? This is Jennifer Huang from Channel 7 News. We're running a story tomorrow about harassment in LA's marketing community, and your name has come up in our investigation. Would you like to comment on the allegations against you? The blood drained from my face. Emma had contacted the media. What allegations exactly? I managed. Multiple sources had described a pattern of cyberstalking and professional intimidation targeting local business owners. We have documentation of fake reviews, threatening communications, and what appears to be a systematic campaign to damage reputations within the marketing industry. Jennifer's tone was neutral but deadly. Our sources indicate you've been questioned by police about these activities. Emma had flipped the narrative completely. The news story would paint me as the perpetrator of the exact crimes she'd committed, using my own investigation as evidence of guilt. Ms. Huang, I'm actually the victim of this harassment campaign. I have digital evidence proving. We'd be happy to include your side of the story. Can you be here by 6 p.m. for an on-camera interview? A televised interview while I was potentially facing criminal charges would be professional suicide. But refusing to comment would make me look guilty to every viewer in Los Angeles. I need to consult with my attorney first, I lied. Of course. The story airs tomorrow at 11 p.m. either way. We'll note that you declined to comment. She hung up, leaving me sitting in the police station parking lot, watching my life crumble in real time. Emma had weaponized the media, the legal system, and my entire professional network against me. And in less than 18 hours, she'd be sitting in her office, watching my public humiliation broadcast across Los Angeles while she planned her next move. I drove home in a fog of disbelief, my mind reeling from the news interview request. 18 hours until my face would be plastered across Los Angeles television as an alleged cyberstalker. Emma's masterpiece was about to go public. My apartment felt like a crime scene when I walked in. Every possession looked contaminated by the knowledge that Emma had been here, touching my things, installing monitoring software while pretending to help set up my business. The laptop she'd optimized sat on my kitchen table like a venomous snake. I was pouring a glass of wine with trembling hands when my doorbell rang. Through the peephole, I saw a woman in an expensive navy suit holding an official-looking envelope. Sarah Mitchell? I'm attorney Rebecca Walsh from Carver & Associates. I represent Emma Chen. My blood turned to ice. Emma had lawyered up. I opened the door with the chain still latched. What do you want? Ms. Chen has authorized me to offer you a resolution to this unfortunate situation. Rebecca's smile was arctic. May I come in? Against my better judgment, I let her in. She settled onto my couch like she owned it, placing the envelope on my coffee table with ceremonial precision. Ms. Chen is prepared to be generous, despite the harassment she's endured. She's willing to forego criminal prosecution in exchange for your signature on this agreement. I opened the envelope with shaking fingers. The document was 12 pages of legal language, but certain phrases jumped out: permanent non-disclosure agreement, admission of wrongdoing, and $50,000 in damages. You want me to pay Emma $50,000? I laughed bitterly. With what money? The agreement includes a structured payment plan. $2,000 monthly for 25 months. Rebecca's tone remained professionally pleasant. Of course, you'll also agree to cease all business operations in Los Angeles County and refrain from any contact with individuals in Ms. Chen's professional network. Emma wanted me to pay for my own destruction and exile myself from the only career I'd ever known. What if I refuse? Then Ms. Chen will pursue criminal charges, civil damages, and additional media coverage of your stalking behavior. The Channel 7 story is just the beginning. Rebecca leaned forward slightly. Ms. Mitchell, I've reviewed the evidence. You recorded my client without consent, harassed her business associates, and created an elaborate conspiracy theory to justify your behavior. No jury will believe your version of events. The legal trap was perfect. Emma had evidence of my investigation, recordings of my erratic behavior, and testimony from multiple victims in her network. Meanwhile, my proof of her crimes was technical, complicated, and easily dismissed as fabricated by an unhinged stalker. I need time to consider this, I said, though we both knew I had no real choice. You have until 9 a.m. tomorrow. If we don't receive your signed agreement by then, Ms. Chen will hold a press conference at 10 a.m. detailing the full scope of your harassment campaign. Rebecca stood, smoothing her skirt. She'll be joined by 6 other victims who will share their experiences with your threatening behavior. After she left, I sat staring at the contract until the words blurred together. Emma had engineered the perfect endgame: legal, financial, and social destruction wrapped in the appearance of merciful resolution. My phone buzzed with a text from an unknown number. Saw the lawyer leave. Hope you're making the smart choice. Some battles can't be won. A concerned friend. Emma was watching my building. She'd probably been monitoring my every move since our cafe meeting, savoring each moment of my downward spiral. But as I read through the contract again, something nagged at me. The damages amount, $50,000, seemed oddly specific. Not 45 or 60, but exactly 50. I grabbed my laptop and searched professional reputation management services pricing. After 20 minutes of digging, I found what I was looking for: a leaked price sheet from Reputation Defenders LLC, a company specializing in comprehensive character rehabilitation services. Their premium package, including fake Wikipedia pages, coordinated social media attacks, and media manipulation, cost exactly $50,000. Emma wasn't just making me pay damages. She was making me reimburse her for the cost of destroying my life. The realization that Emma was making me pay for my own destruction sent a white-hot fury through my veins. $50,000, the exact cost of her reputation management campaign. She wasn't just bankrupting me, she was adding financial insult to professional injury with surgical precision. But fury, I realized, was clarity. For the first time in weeks, my hands weren't shaking. I called Marcus at 11:47 p.m. I need you to trace something specific. Reputation Defenders LLC. I think Emma hired them to orchestrate this entire campaign. Sarah, it's almost midnight. Marcus, in 9 hours Emma's holding a press conference to destroy what's left of my life. I need to know if she paid professionals to do this. I heard him sigh, then the familiar sound of rapid typing. Okay, I'm looking into their client databases and payment processing. This might take a while. While he worked, I did something that felt insane but necessary. I called Detective Morrison's direct line. Morrison. Detective, it's Sarah Mitchell. I know it's late, but I found something important. Emma Chen hired a professional reputation destruction company. They specialize in creating fake Wikipedia pages, coordinated harassment campaigns, and media manipulation. Ms. Mitchell, we discussed this earlier. Unless you have concrete evidence. I had their pricing sheet. $50,000 for the exact services used against me, and that's the exact amount Emma's demanding in her settlement contract. I was talking fast, adrenaline overriding exhaustion. Detective, she's not just harassing me, she's running a commercial-grade defamation operation. There was a long pause. Send me everything you have. And Ms. Mitchell? Don't do anything stupid before tomorrow morning. At 12:23 a.m., Marcus called back with excitement crackling in his voice. Sarah, you beautiful genius. Reputation Defenders LLC processed a payment from Brandright Creative's corporate account 6 weeks ago. $53,000, itemized as consulting services. 53? 50 for the reputation management, 3,000 processing fee. Marcus was practically vibrating with discovery. But here's the smoking gun, they kept detailed logs of their activities. Every fake account created, every review posted, every media contact made. It's all timestamped and documented. My heart hammered against my ribs. Can you access those logs? I already did. Sarah, this isn't just evidence, it's a confession. They documented everything because it was a paid service contract. Emma literally has a receipt for destroying your life. I thought about the lawyer's visit, the perfectly timed media contact, the coordinated network attack. Emma hadn't just been planning this for years, she'd been saving money for it. Marcus, can you package all of this and send it to Detective Morrison? Include the Reputation Defenders payment, their activity logs, and the correlation with the settlement amount. Already on it. But Sarah, there's something else you need to know. His voice grew serious. I found Emma's email correspondence with the Reputation Management Company. She didn't just want to destroy your career, she wanted to make it look like you were the one doing the destroying. What do you mean? She specifically requested that they create evidence making you appear to be the aggressor. The fake Wikipedia page, the police reports, even the media story, it was all designed to flip the narrative so you'd look like the stalker. Marcus paused. Sarah, this wasn't revenge. This was a calculated plan to completely steal your identity as the victim. At 3:15 a.m., my phone rang. Detective Morrison. Ms. Mitchell, I just reviewed the information you sent. Can you be at the station at 6 a.m.? And bring that settlement contract from Emma's lawyer. Are you going to arrest her? We're going to have a very different conversation than the one we had yesterday. His tone had completely shifted. Ms. Mitchell, if this evidence holds up, Emma Chen is looking at multiple felony charges. I hung up and looked at the settlement contract sitting on my coffee table. In 5 hours, instead of signing my confession and exile, I'd be watching Emma's entire operation collapse. She'd made one crucial mistake, she'd gotten greedy and kept receipts. At 6:47 a.m., I watched through the station's one-way glass as Detective Morrison and his partner Detective Rodriguez escorted Emma Chen into the interrogation room. She looked immaculate as always, charcoal blazer, perfectly styled hair, confidence radiating from every step. She had no idea what was coming. Ms. Chen, thank you for coming in voluntarily, Morrison began, settling across from her with a thick manila folder. We have some follow-up questions about your harassment complaint against Sarah Mitchell. Emma's smile was radiant. Of course, Detective. I'm just grateful you're taking this seriously. Sarah's behavior has been absolutely terrifying. I'm sure it has been. Morrison opened the folder, revealing the Reputation Defenders payment receipt. Can you explain this $53,000 payment from Brandright Creative to a reputation management company? Emma's smile flickered for exactly 1 second before reasserting itself. I'm not sure what that has to do with Sarah's stalking behavior. Well, it's interesting because this company specializes in what they call comprehensive reputation destruction services. Creating fake accounts, coordinating harassment campaigns, manipulating media coverage. Morrison's voice remained conversational. The same activities you've accused Ms. Mitchell of doing to you. Detective, I think there's been some confusion. No confusion, Ms. Chen. We have the company's activity logs. Rodriguez slid a second document across the table. 17 fake accounts created from your IP address. Coordinated review bombing campaigns. Even the fake Wikipedia page about Ms. Mitchell. I watched Emma's face cycle through a fascinating series of micro-expressions, surprise, calculation, then cold fury. Her mask was finally slipping. You'll also find this interesting, Morrison continued, producing a printed email. Your correspondence with Reputation Defenders specifically requesting that they create evidence making the target appear to be the primary aggressor. That's premeditation, Ms. Chen. Emma leaned back in her chair, and for the first time in 6 years, I saw her exactly as she really was, a predator who'd been caught in her own trap. I want a lawyer, she said quietly. That's your right. But Ms. Chen, we also have testimony from Marcus Webb at TechFlow Solutions. Turns out he recorded the conversation where you convinced him to file false complaints about Ms. Mitchell's work performance. Morrison smiled grimly. He thought something was off and kept the recording for his own protection. Emma's carefully constructed network of lies was unraveling in real time. Marcus Webb, not my cybersecurity friend, but my former boss, had been suspicious of Emma's concerns and documented their conversation. At 9:23 a.m., exactly 37 minutes before Emma's scheduled press conference, Detective Rodriguez emerged from the interrogation room. Ms. Mitchell, Emma Chen is being charged with conspiracy to commit defamation, cyberstalking, identity theft, and wire fraud. The DA's office will also be investigating Reputation Defenders LLC for their role in this scheme. What about the other people who filed complaints against me? Most of them were fed false information by Ms. Chin. When presented with evidence of the manipulation, 6 of the 8 complainants have agreed to recant their statements and cooperate with our investigation. I thought about Rebecca Walsh, Emma's attorney, probably sitting in a conference room somewhere preparing for a press conference that would never happen. The victim and perpetrator had officially switched places. My phone buzzed with a call from Jennifer Huang at Channel 7 News. Ms. Mitchell, we've just learned about Emma Chen's arrest. Would you like to comment on being the victim of what appears to be the largest professional defamation scheme in LA County history? For the first time in 3 years, someone was asking for my side of the story. Yes, I said, watching Emma being led away in handcuffs through the station window. I'd like to comment. The machine Emma built to destroy me had finally turned around and devoured its creator instead.